Namaskar. Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. I'm your host Sree Iyer. Things are happening very, very fast in Syria. Remember, I had this one hangout with 𝗤𝗏𝗏 𝗥𝗘𝗙𝗏𝗏 where we talked about various religious factions that make up Syria and how Bashar Assad, despite all his other tendencies, managed to keep the peace. Something similar to what Saddam Hussein had done in Iraq. Now that Bashar Assad has left Syria, all these smaller pieces are becoming fearful for their existence. So I'm going to talk to you about one community called the Druze, who have now expressed the desire that they wish to be annexed with Israel. Yes, Druze are also considered to be like Muslims, although there are some significant differences. We're going to talk about that also. Why this becomes important is, notice what is playing out in Bangladesh. Is it possible that Hindu Desh could happen like very, very soon? Or is there a similar thing where enclaves of Hindus inside Bangladesh could form? Well, all these are possible. Politics is the art of the possible. So let's take a look at what is happening with the Druze community and why they arrived at this decision. I have a small video also to show to you. First, a small slide deck too. Importantly, please like this video. Here we go. Druze Village seeks annexation to Israel. The Druze community in southern Syria has publicly expressed its wish to be annexed to Israel. Based on the topography, now if you look at the topography, Israel occupies part of Golan Heights, which used to be Syria's. In the 1973 war or the 1967 war, I don't remember which one. One of those two wars, Syria ceded this and Israel never returned it back. The Golan Heights are a place from where they can look down on the Syrian valley. Therefore, it was a good vantage position. Once Israel annexed it, they refused to hand it over. Now, what has happened is, after Bashar Assad left, Israel has created a demilitarized zone between Syria and Israel in case this new HTS rebels decide to attack Israel. So to also further insulate them from any trouble from Syria, they have conducted more than 350 strikes to take out the naval, army and air force strengths or power of Syria. On top of that, the Russians are thinking of completely abandoning their two bases there. A base is a place where there's much more than just a small camp. A base has everything in the sense that they have very long types of plans to be able to launch different long-term warfare and things of that nature, much more comprehensive in its scope. And if Russia vacates those two bases, then Syria is basically a toothless tiger. I mean, toothless cat even. So based on all these things, what is happening now is something that could be a template for other nations to follow. So the Druze community in the village of 𝗤𝗏𝗏 is calling for their annexation to the Israeli side of Golan Heights. So here is a map of the two. You can see the Golan Heights and you can see the demilitarized zone called DMZ. And you can see the set of Druze villages which are adjacent to that. Here, the geographic connect enables Israel to accept them into their country as their own. And whether Israel will do that or not, we'll have to wait and see. But I would also urge you to take a look at the speech that Benjamin Netanyahu has given to the people of Iran. This is the second time or the third time he's addressing them. He's talking about a change coming in Iran too. Is the Khamenei going to be disposed or deposed? I mean, it could be the both. And something is cooking. And while all this is happening, what gives Bangladesh the spine and the front, bravado to keep attacking its own minorities? We'll wait and see. There is an ending coming there too. So I hope you have liked this video. I'm going to play a video where the people, the Druze people, are saying that we wish to be annexed by Israel. It's got English subtitles. Take a quick look at it.
مغرب حي كلها كلها على اسرائيل.
شو مصيرنا يا اخوتي؟ اسرائيل. ونحن يا عم باسم اهالي حضر جميعا نخالف الجميع واللي يخالف هذا الراي يقول. يخالف هذا الراي يقول. نحن يا عمي اذا خيرت بين الشرعين فعليك باختيار الشرع الأقل. وان كان هذا شرط يعني موجود نحن نطلب ضمن للجولان ولكن اقل بكثير من الشرط اللي جاي علينا، الشرط الثاني اللي جاي علينا، الشرط اللي جاي علينا ممكن ياخذوا نسواننا يا عمي، ممكن ياخذوا بناتنا، ممكن ياخذوا بيوتنا، فنحن بدنا نحفظ مين اللي بيحفظ لنا كرامتنا، نحن معه. الشرط الاسد سلم راح، شو بدنا ما عادش في شيء. فنحن اذا بيختار يعني اذا بيسمع حضرتنا للجميع باسم اهالي حضر الكل، واللي عم يصور يصور، واللي عم يسجل يسجل، ما عنديش مانع. نحن نطلب انضمامنا الى هذا الجولان لنحفظ كرامتنا. غير هيك.
So you get the idea. So they want to be annexed with Israel. Will Israel oblige? So here is the map again. So you have to take a look at it. So this is the Druze villages. There are about, I think, 13 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 villages. And there are also Druze in other places. So we'll have to wait and see how this is going to play out. Not only that, Syria also has conclaves like this or enclaves like this, where the Christians are in large numbers. In fact, some of the earliest Christianity started from Syria. The Tigris-Euphrates River is full of historical facts and data, and even as far back as 1500 BCE, two warring tribes on the banks of Tigris and Euphrates signed a pact not to wage war with each other, and they signed as with Varuna and Indra and Mitra, Mitra means sun and Indra as their witnesses. So you had Hinduism, you had Sanatana Dharma in the villages of in the civilizations that lived along the two rivers Tigris and Euphrates. This is captured in a couple of videos that I had with Dr. Nagaswamy. Do look at that. That's the first or the earliest pact known to have been signed, 1400 BCE. So this is where things stand. Now let's take a quick look at a little bit more. Let's explore this a little bit more, and I want to share with you something else about the Druze. So this is a video that you saw, which has been circulating on social media, and is a member of the Druze community in Ḥadar, a southern Syrian village. He's calling for the community that we should be annexed to the Israeli side. So whatever it is, they say that we have to, fend for ourselves. So somewhere this is one of the problems, whether it was Saddam Hussein or Bashar Assad, they may have had a lot of faults, but they also kept the peace. You remember that Bashar Assad, or probably that he's also a member of an Alawi community, which is not a big numbers. It's not big numbers. They may be aligned with Shias, but again, lots of maybe that sort of stuff. So the majoritarianism, Sunni and Shias, now will be probably stomping about. In fact, some rebels have said that this is going to be another Sharia state. That's what is prompting all this. And Druzes are very tightly knit. They rarely go out of that area. And he is also saying that he speaks for the Druze community across the Quneitra governorate, calling for an end to the oppression. So this is the entire area that you saw. So the Mount Hermon region has a majority Druze population. I'm not 100% sure this is all there is. Now let's take a quick look at what is this community. The Druze are an ethno-religious group originating from the Middle East. They follow a unique faith, which is an offshoot of Ismaili Shia Islam, but incorporates elements from other religions, including Christianity, Judaism, and agnosticism. The Druze primarily live in Syria, Lebanon, and Israel, with smaller communities in Jordan and other parts of the Middle East. The Druze religion was founded in Egypt in 11th century by the Ismaili Caliph Al-Hakim by Amr Allah. It later spread to the Levant region. Levant region, remember, ISIS used to be called as ISIL. Levant is what is the modern-day Syria. Historically, the Druze have aligned with the ruling powers in their respective regions. In Syria, they had been largely supportive of the Assad regime for political and security reasons. What choice do they have, right? While they share some beliefs with Muslims, the Druze consider themselves separate from Islam. This is what creates the problem. It's the my way or the highway of the Sharia people. That is what is causing them a lot of concern. And that's why they want to quickly decide that this is what we would like to do. But we don't know if the community, these villages are completely 100% Druze, or are there some Muslims? And also what Israel is going to do. Will Israel say, okay, fine, we will take you on, provided you follow these rules? And we don't know. So that is something that is going to be decided, but it's not a very big slice of land. I'm expecting something like this to happen in the Chittagong area or Chittagong area of Bangladesh first, and then perhaps there will be other places where the Indian army might establish some sort of a stability for Hindus so that this madness will stop. The overall political scenario in Bangladesh will take some time to sort out, but at least this madness will stop, I'm hoping. So India can in fact quote this as a reference and try to solve the problem in Bangladesh along the same lines. And I think India will not let United Nations to come in here, just like India did not let United Nations to come into Sri Lanka also. The IPKF went there. Of course, it was not a great result. Still, it's in your neighborhood. You want to solve it yourself. That is the big brother attitude that India is taking. I think I kind of agree with that. Culturally, India is aligned with all these smaller countries. It's just that there has to be a delicate balance that you have to maintain, and that's where the thing becomes a little bit difficult. So they are a very secretive community, and it is believed that when the Druze in Israel serve in the Israeli defense forces and are considered full citizens, although they maintain a distinct cultural and religious identity. Remember, guys, 80% of Israel is Jews. The remaining 20% are others, and that includes Druze. The Druze in Syria, particularly in regions around the Golan Heights and southern Syria, have concerns about sectarian violence, especially amid the rise of Islamist factions in the area. The communities are known for their contributions to the politics and military spheres, especially in Lebanon and Israel, where they have held significant roles in both government and security forces. According to the last reliable census taken in 2010, before the outbreak of the civil war in Syria, around 48% of Syria's Druze resided in the Suwaida governorate, some 90 kilometers from the border with Israel. Another 35% were living in Damascus, and 25,000 were located in the Idlib governorate. So it's not going to be, this is the adjoining portion to the demilitarized zone. What about the others? There has to be some sort of a pathway created. So see, again, I'm telling you, if Israel decides that Druze shall be part of Israel, then this essentially gives you a template for India to look at in terms of establishing and stabilizing the Hindus of Bangladesh without them having to move from there. So it's a very, very interesting development. That's why I'm spending so much time explaining to you the situation with the Druze in Syria, Israel, Lebanon, and so on, so that this sort of gives you an idea, okay, something similar is the case in Pakistan also. Umarkot is an area where the Hindus are in a majority. Can that be saved? That's another possibility. The declaration from the Druze community in southern Syria follows a meeting between Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and the leader of the Druze community in Israel, who share close kinship ties with the Syrian Druze. Netanyahu emphasized the importance of ensuring security for the Syrian Druze. So, just the actual annexation, if should that happen, is just bring in about 25 kilometers from Damascus. That is, one side is Israel, the other side is within 25 kilometers of Damascus. The Druze live in a mountainous region, making their territory a defensible front line against any future regime in Syria. So this is a good thing, meaning like they live in a mountainous area. So even if Israel does come in and they annex them and it becomes part of Israel, the Israelis may be able to successfully ward off any of these invasions that might take place. The population in 𝗤𝗲𝗏, this is another place, but they are not contiguous to Israel, and IDF troops are not currently there. This is, I told you, this is really the thing. Exactly like in Hindus in Bangladesh, they're spread all over, they're scattered here and there. So this area where of Subaidah is called the Druze mountain. According to the last reliable census taken in 2010 before the civil war, 48% of Syria's Druze resided in the Subaidah governorate, some 90 kilometers from the border with Israel. Another 35%, I told you, we are repeating that. So you get the idea here. Druze mountain is towards, away from Israel, and it's away from about, I would say what, it's not contiguous, let me put it that way. So the two regions, Hadar and Subaidah, comprise the entire Druze population in Syria. If these regions are annexed to are annexed to Israel, a majority of the world's Druze would be living in Israel, and that would make the state of Israel the de facto Druze homeland 70 years after becoming the homeland of the Jewish people. The Druze historically supported Assad and are technically not Muslim. So I have told you this. Now what is going to happen? What is Turkey going to do? Turkey is actually planning on first cracking down on the Kurds, and the reason for that is very simple. Kurds are sitting on top of a lot of oil fields, and that's what everybody's eyes are after. And the United States are also protecting the Kurds. So Kurds will be the first ones to be impacted. Let's wait and see how that plays out. Israel seeks to create as much space as possible between itself and jihadi forces in Syria. So this is what Israel wants. Whether it will get that or not is something that has to be that remains to be seen. But it was an interesting development that I thought I'll share with you. Again, Iran, watch what's happening in Iran. That is also going through some sort of a surprise in the next few days. When if it happens, it will have to happen now. Because once Trump comes along, things are going to get even harder for Iran. Right now, everybody's eyes are kind of looking at Israel and Syria or Ukraine and Russia. In fact, Russia has pounded Ukraine with, I think, over 400 missiles, whereas Ukraine only shot 6 of that AMC missiles into Russia. So another pounding that Ukraine took today. I don't know what is the state of Ukraine after that. So there is a lot of stuff happening there. At the same time, there may be something brewing in Iran too. That's all I have. If there are any questions, I'd be happy to take them now. And no questions today. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notification. Do share this video with all your friends and on your social media groups such as WhatsApp, because I'm seeing the parallels here between the Druze community and the Hindus in Bangladesh as well as in Pakistan. Let's hope for the best. Thank you. Namaskar.